Hello, welcome to Learn with Sri series. Today we have another question.
When do you use Scrum and when do you use Kanban?
Great question. When it comes to Scrum, Scrum is the most commonly practiced agile method across the world. It can be used to build products, it can be used to build solutions, it can also be used to deliver services of any kind, either to internal customer or external customer. Now, there are some foundation aspect for a Scrum method. One is it should be structured. It should be a planned one. Like, what does that mean? When you have a backlog, it has to be a planned work for the most part, right? If you are going to be lacking that kind of plan and predictability in terms of the backlog or the intake rate, then you could probably use Kanban as a method, which we will talk about after this. So Scrum is very popular agile method and also easy to adopt. At the end of the day, it's also about the people's mindset and the attitude and the culture that makes it successful. Yeah. So there are three categories when it comes to Scrum method. One is the roles, second one is the events, and third one is the artifact. In the industry, we call it 3:5:3 method or ratio. So there are three roles: product owner, scrum master, and the team. That team can be a technical team or a business team or an operations team. The second one is the five events. There is the planning, there is the daily stand-up, there can be a refinement happening or the backlog refinement, then the review coupled with the demo, and then retrospective. So there are five events. And the third one is the artifact, which includes the product backlog, the sprint backlog, and then the value or the increment. So Scrum is more predictable and more planned approach. On the other hand, Kanban is when the requirements there's lots of ambiguity in terms of what's going to be built, and when you have multi-skilled people and who are cross-functional team, then you practice Kanban. Kanban is not a shortcut alternate for Scrum. You got to be planned for the most part, but if you're not unable to plan very well, you could have a Kanban team. And yes, there can be structure around it too, having a Scrum Master who can oversee Kanban team. And also this Kanban team can also operate in the same time box like a Scrum team, whereas we'll measure the throughput of what is being delivered in that particular time frame. And what are some of the use cases for that? Usually Kanban is a great fit for operations team, maintenance team when you're not sure about what's going to be coming in from a production standpoint and stability standpoint. You could also use for product development too, but then you got to make sure that you have multi-skilled people in the team. So by picking the right method, in the industry there is also something called Scrumban, but I don't want to go there. But you want to be using a combination of Scrum and Kanban methods and teams in your setup so that you can get the most value out of that. Good luck.